Well, good morning, all, and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. For anyone that is new, my name is Sean, and I have a very, very special guest. I am super excited to have her along with us. I know I say this every week, but I really, really mean this. It is none other than Kim Moos from Cotton Cuts. She is the CEO and founder of the companies, and she graciously agreed to hop up nice and early on a Saturday morning and come join us while we just sit and chat. And you know what? We may even get some sewing done as well. So do you want to say hi to everybody, Kim? Just tell us a little bit more about yourself and the company and that sort of thing there. And just tell us what you do.
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Oh my gosh, Sean, thank you so much for having me. I love doing this. I love getting out and talking with folks and being able to engage with everyone in a nice early Saturday morning fashion. So my name is Kim Moos. I'm the owner and founder of Cotton Cuts. I started Cotton Cuts almost 7 years ago. I had a full-time job and I decided I wanted to try something different. And so started Cotton Cuts in evenings and weekends. And it was literally myself, and I would be cutting fabric. And then I started hiring employees, and people would come to my house at all hours of the evening and weekends. And my neighbors were getting suspicious. What's going on in their house? Why do they have all these strange cars showing up? And then we moved into the Chesterfield Mall, and we've been there ever since. And so Cotton Cuts is a just pure passion project for me. I love creating new things. And I've been quilting since I was 13. And I was like, maybe I can do some really cool and new and innovative things in quilting. And that's where Cotton Cuts is born from. We started our first subscription box, the classic box. And so this is one I was like, maybe I can subscribe to a box. That's really kind of the catalyst for the ideas. Maybe I can subscribe to a box. There's a couple subscription boxes out there. And I bought a couple and I hated every single one of them. And I was like, okay, I can do better. So I was like, the one thing that I know about quilters, and I say this all the time whenever I talk, is no two quilters are cut from the same cloth. You can be in a guild meeting and you're sitting right next to someone else and they love purple and you cannot stand purple, or they love batiks and you do not get it because you are all about kids prints. And I was like, I have to do something with Cotton Cuts that gives people preference and choice, because every quilter is different. And so everything we do at Cotton Cuts has preference and choice, because quilters are so different and so unique that just is the foundation for everything we do. And I love it because we get to do fun and awesome creative things. And I know, Sean, you're like, you want to ask me more questions. I can see it. But like, I love that it's preference, it's choice. Everyone gets something that fits for them versus something that fits for everyone. And so we've been doing this, like I said, about 7 years. I have about 20 employees that work for me. We ship about 5,000 packages of fabric a month all over the world. And it's really great. It's gone in so many different directions than I originally thought. But yeah, that's kind of how we got started. Now, about me personally, so I've been married for 23 years, 22. Oh my gosh, my husband is no, he probably doesn't even know. Just kidding. So I've been married for 22 years. I have a 10 and 11-year-old boys. The 11-year-old's Dominic. My 12-year-old is Lincoln. My 11-year-old is Dominic. Yes, I do know the answers to these questions. It is early. I should probably drink some more coffee. Yes. But I mean, the boys have appeared with me on lives for Cotton Cuts as well. So I feel like a lot of our members know my boys. They are super awesome. They are part of this journey with me. And I feel like, as much as we do for our members, Cotton Cuts is also for my boys, and I use it as a good example to give them, hopes and aspirations to possibly maybe start their own businesses one day as well. All right. Yeah. So I know, Sean, that meandered and jumped and jive, but what else? What else can I use?
Hey, we just go with the punches here. Like we're not formal. We're not, that structured here. We just kind of just go wherever the conversation goes. So don't even worry about that. And that is one of the things I do love about your company is like, there are a lot of subscription boxes out there, but yours, and I'm not just saying this because you're here with me. Yours are definitely my favorite for me personally, because I enjoy a fabric centered box. I don't necessarily want a bunch of notions that I may or may not use. I don't get them all the time, but I have gotten the Java boxes a number of times and I've loved those. And I actually won like this 3-month subscription last year from you guys. And that was, that was nice. But yeah, like you said, you have the choice, and that's really, really nice. So, but let's go ahead and say good morning or good evening to everybody here, because we do have, just like you said, you shipped around the world. I have folks here from all over the world. So let's see who is here with us. Let me just scroll back up to the top again. Sometimes I'm a hot mess, so bear with me.
Me
Nancy,
too. Me too. I get it.
yeah, and we'll just blame early. And poor Kim, I told her to, we'll start at 7 a.m. Because she's in Central, over in the St. Louis, Missouri area. And she thought I meant 7 Eastern. So she was actually on an hour early. So,
It is absolutely fine.
yeah, like I told her, I said, like, I'd rather you be here an hour early than an hour late. Like I've had that almost happen once where someone thought, okay, well, it's 8 a.m. Eastern, so I can hop on at 9 Central. I'm like, that's not the way it works. You go, only if you're not Atlantic time, you can do that. So,
Right.
but Nancy Gus is here. Good morning. Good morning to Miss Melody. Brenda Foley is here with us. Cheryl Curley. Good morning. Good morning. Chloe Morgan is here. She was with me on channel last month, Sewing Clues 3 with us. She was doing the black and white colorway for Village Green. I can't remember the name of it.
It's going to come to me. Keep going. The tulip.
Tulip, that's it. Yes.
Yes.
I'm terrible of names. Mine's easy because it's lavender. So Brenda Foley, I think I said once already. Martha's Creative Life. Good morning. She is one of your gnomes ambassadors. Yes. And she'll be on with us next month with Robin. I actually talked to Robin into coming on next month.
Oh, yay. I love Robin. That's fantastic. That's good work. Now, Robin, Robin doesn't sew, right? I want to make sure that.
Yes, she made that very clear. And I was like, just come on anyway. Like, it doesn't matter what your ability level is, you can do it. So, so that's a little teaser for everybody. I have not, normally I don't announce my guest until about a week before, but we have got Robin agreed, unless she runs away, to come join us next month with some gnomes. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. Teresa is here. Good morning. Let's see. Handmade by Yin with Donna is here. Good morning. She says, good morning, Donna. She's Donna. Good morning, Sean and Kim. See, I need more coffee too, apparently. And let's see, Cynthia Maria Field. And so she's from the UK. Good morning. Let's see. Yes. And one more thing I wanted to mention before we go any further is Happy Mother's Day weekend to all the ladies out there. Whether you are a natural mother, adopted mother, or you just mentor somebody in your own way. To me, you're all mothers, whether you have your own children or not. So happy Mother's Day weekend. Enjoy it. This is all about you. And if you are close enough to your mother where you can give her a hug or give her a call, please do so. Sometimes you don't realize it until it's too late. I would love to give my mother a call, but unfortunately she passed away about 15 years ago. And, I always called my mother, especially on Mother's Day, but, I would absolutely love to be able to do that. And sometimes you can't. So if you're able to, give her a call, give her a hug, tell her you love her, and, celebrate this weekend to all the ladies. And then we'll do the next thing for the gentleman next month. So, but I did want to mention that as well. Janet Johnson, good evening. She's from Western Australia. She says, I'll be hovering as I'm babysitting my grandson and trying to get him to sleep. It's 8 p.m. over there. So, that is excellent. Chloe Morgan, I think I said. Linda Parsons, Beverly Aikens, good morning. Sean, Kim, everyone in the chat. Donna says, Kim, I just finished up my first cotton cut. It was a blast. On to month 4. I think that was the
Piazza is what we just finished. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's the one she was been working on, because her and one of her friends were working on that on her channel as well. And I think I caught everybody as well. JK, I can never remember her name. She says, good morning, Sean and Kim as well. Okay, so Janice from The Right Way is here as well. Pat Strawhouse, good morning. She's from up in the cold part of Ontario. So let's go ahead, and we might go ahead and get some sewing done if we can, but if we don't worry about it. But I'd love to hear more about the Puzzle Mystery Quilt and what was I going to ask? I wrote all my questions down, and I really should just refer to that instead of trying to be smart. I know it's not just you guys that are doing it. I know the designer is a lovely lady. Is it Christina?
Sheila.
Yes,
it's Sheila Christensen. Yeah.
Okay, I got one of the names right.
That's okay.
She's a lovely lady from New Zealand, which is just across the pond from my homeland. And I've seen some other stuff out there where it's not like, I know you guys do it with cotton cuts, but I've seen some other patterns and colorways and that sort of thing, like from the UK and some other stuff there. So is it just you guys, like obviously not just you guys doing it? I know it's the UK. Is there anyone else doing it that you're aware of? Like, is it just you guys in the UK, or has she got other folks involved? Like, how did you guys get connected with it?
So let's kind of, I guess we can go back to kind of the Kim and Sheila origin story, right? So
Okay.
I launched Cotton Cuts, and to launch the company, I put up just a landing page, like enter your email to learn something new. And Sheila Christensen was one of the first 5 emails entered on this like landing page of like something exciting is coming. And
Oh
so
wow.
I launched the Cotton Cuts Classic Box. And within like 2 or 3 weeks, I got an email from Sheila, and she's like, I own a quilt shop in New Zealand, a small quilt shop in Mastodon. And I've been doing this project out of my shop for about 4 years, and it's called a Puzzle Mystery Quilt. And it's die cut, and there's different colorways, and it's 10 months long. And I want to find a partner to help me bring it to the United States. Because what she'd been doing before then was she had been posting patterns, and people in the United States could use their stash and sew along with her. But she wanted someone who was in the United States that can partner with her. And I was like, my gosh, I just launched a subscription box. Sure, whatever. I'll buy some dies. Like, I'm game. I'll try anything new. And she actually flew from New Zealand to the States for Market that year. And Market was at the end of October. And we met
Mhm.
in person, and she showed me the design, and we walked the market floor together, and we launched our very first mystery that February. So like 6 months, 5 months later after we met in Houston. And so the way that the partnership works, and the what's really, I mean, it's gotten us so far, is she does all the design work. So she has all the secret sauce to take a design, to make it 2 different sizes, to put 6 different fabrics in it, and knows how to break it up into mystery pieces that keep everyone guessing, right? And she knows how to make it efficient for our processes. So every time we have a mystery, and it starts about a year before we actually ship it to you guys, she puts together all the colorways, and I look at it and I pick and I choose, and I'm like, I like this one, or I've got a special request for this. And I always give her feedback, and she redesigns. And so we do this redesign loop, and it all depends on what fabrics I can get. And then I purchase all the fabrics. My team does all the die cutting. We do all the packaging, all the kitting, and all the shipping. She writes all the clues. That's her superpower. That's what she does really well. And then we do all the packaging and the distribution, and we work with all of our customers if any issues come up, and we take all the feedback and give it to Sheila. Now, on the groups, you might have seen that there's people in the UK that are doing it. So in the United Kingdom, they can always buy from us, right? We have a lot of international detectives. You mentioned Jan, right? Jan's been a long time PMQ detective for us in Australia, right? And so
Yes.
we do have the ability to ship outside the United States for free shipping. But Sheila found a small quilt shop in the United Kingdom. It's Modern Quilt Studio, Lisa Naylor, and she has a small kind of modern group of quilters that she works with. So sometimes the colorways are the same, and sometimes they're different. So Lisa likes to do a lot of Ruby Star. She likes to do a lot of Andover. Like, she has a very specific kind of fabric that she's looking for her folks. For us, we have some modern, we have some traditional, we have some blenders, we have some masculine. We try to hit a lot bigger audience. So we'll have 12 to 15 colorways. Lisa will have 4 to 6. But we work
Okay.
it, everyone's doing the same design. So that's why every now and then in the Facebook groups, a colorway pops up. I just saw one yesterday. I think it was called Clio. Like, we don't do that because either we couldn't get access to the fabrics, or it just didn't appeal to me. It wasn't different enough from what we'd already offered.
Right. Yeah, I was just curious, and I figured, well, since I had you
Yeah,
on Zoom with me, I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and ask the question, because I'm sure I'm not
I
the only
love
one
it.
out there with that
I love
question.
the
Because
origin.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
I love the story. That you guys got to
Mhm.
meet, and the market is it in Houston every year, or is it in different
So, okay,
places?
pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. So before
Okay.
pandemic, market was twice a year. And so the fall market is always in Houston, every year, always has been. And so market is for retailers like us that buy wholesale, and it's a full week. And then the following week is festival. And so this is a big kind of the biggest quilt show in the United States for people to come and, buy fabric and see latest and greatest, all sorts of goodness. And so, and then in the spring, it rotates. And so it just depends on wherever they want to put it. So one year was actually in St. Louis. It was great. We loved it. We just woke up every morning and drove down to the market. Great.
Mhm.
Post-pandemic, they haven't done a spring market. They've only been doing the fall in Houston. And so this year, actually, Sheila is bringing some of her team with her. And so she's going to meet with my team and we'll walk the shop floors together and we'll do market together in Houston. But it's interesting because there is a new kind of show that's popping up in the spring that might take the place of spring market, but it's all industry stuff that we're monitoring. So
Yeah, that's neat. I only learned about market last fall, and I don't qualify to go, obviously. Plus, yeah, I don't like being in the big crowd, so it wouldn't be for me anyway. But yeah, it's neat that you talked about that as well. So yeah, that's just a lot of fun.
mhm.
So how many puzzle mystery quilts, and you can just give me a ballpark figure, have you guys done together? Is it, I think it's about a dozen, is that right? Or am I
I
making that
think
up?
Carnival is 14, I think.
14. Okay.
Yeah, Carnival is 14. Yeah.
And then you guys come up with the name, like the Carnival or Village Green, So Sweet Yourselves. So is it Lisa? I'm terrible with names over in the UK.
Yeah.
Does she call it something different?
Nope. So the name of the puzzle, when we say Carnival, when we say Piazza, when we say Village Green, that's the name of the design.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the actual, so independent of colorways, that's the name of the design. The
Gotcha.
colorway names, sometimes Sheila picks them. When we did donuts, my youngest child was like in on this. And so he actually picked all the names for the donut colorways and was matching the names to the colorways. And so this time, as you've seen for Carnival, I was like, let's do something totally different, guys. We're doing number 14. Why don't we let everyone else pick the names of these colorways? And so we kind of brainstormed a list of about 30 different potential options. And you'll see it, like people are just like, hey, what 3 matches this colorway? I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, the
Oh,
name, I think it's awesome.
oh, it's been fun. That's like I've been talking to different people over the last week or so, and we've all had a blast doing that. And I think
Yeah.
that's been so much fun, and it gives the participants the opportunity to actually have some sort of say in what it is. Like I love the Ferris wheel. I don't, I've been watching, some of the other stuff there. I mean, all the names have been great. So, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. So if you ever have the opportunity to do it again, I think you should. I mean, that's just my opinion. And, more than half of people may disagree with me. And if they do, that's great. But yeah,
I think it's,
I think it's a lot of fun. And I've been getting some feedback on that as well. Just, with the people I've been talking to. I am so far behind on my chat. I'm just terrible. I did see Tracy came in from Craft a Simple Life is in. She said, good morning. I finally made it to live. I know her and I've been, friends for a while. And, I know she doesn't get to make it here very often. Shannon Way from Slate Arts is here as well. Donna Armstrong has made it in. And let's see, did I miss anybody else? Oh, Dawn from My Quilt Projects is here. Janet says she's doing her 5th mystery quilt. And someone else is doing, who else was it? Nancy's doing her 5th and 6th at the moment. So yeah, there's quite a few folks here that have been doing it for quite some time. Myself, this will be, Village Green is my 2nd. I skipped Piazza because I just had too much on my plate at the moment. But I started off with So Sweet. I didn't know about Olympia until it was too late. I kind of fell into watching YouTube videos right as you guys had started, like Clue 4 or something of Olympia. Fallon from So Be It Quilts was the one that kind of was showing it off, and I was like, this sounds like a lot of fun. So I jumped in on So Sweet, and I haven't done the backing yet or quilted it, but I did the benet. I love this. I love bright and colorful. So
we actually had a special request. A lot of people liked beignet, like the sharp contrasts in the batiks. So that's why one of the colorways for Carnival is very similar to, like, we're going to just get bright and bold and separate, so that way you can see the design and it pops differently.
I noticed that. I was like, that was like one of my favorites, and I was like, if I hadn't have just done benet, I would have been all over that. So I think I'm going to end up doing one of the other one similar to that. That's what I'm leaning towards. But yeah, I love that you brought that one back, because it was just it was so bright and bold and beautiful that it was really, really nice. Chloe says that she loves picking the names. So does Martha. So yeah, I think that's a hit. And if you get the chance to do it again, I say absolutely have at it. And if you don't know what we're talking about, on the Facebook group of Cut and Cuts, each day they're putting out 1 or 2 colorways on their thing, and they give you 3 choices where you can vote for the name. Like, I know we've done Ferris wheel already, bumper boats,
I think fortune teller,
and a few others. So
yeah, I think log flume. I think that was the winner for the blue and the green. I
think so. Yeah,
Robin knows all this.
Yes, yeah, that's what we have Robin around for. So Janet's still waiting for clue 10 to appear.
Oh no.
Well, international shipping to Australia, I know personally, is not fun. So, hopefully gets there soon. Brenda says she made 2 Olympias. Each month I cut out matching pieces in my fabric. It's awesome. That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. It's like, it's all pre-cut. Like, you just open up your little package and you don't have to cut anything. Like, it's just, I love that. Sometimes I get home from work and I don't want to sit there and have to cut fabric and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's some projects that I do that I really, really enjoy that are, a lot of pieces, but it takes me hours to cut it out. So yeah, this is great where you just open up your bag, you get your instructions, and bang, away you go. So
now, Sean, are you one of those, and so are you one of those people that, like, you have your yardage and you have to optimize every single like fractional inch of your fabric, and you're like, if I cut a square here, then I can squeeze in a strip, and you don't, and that stress, I love it, but it also stresses me out, like, because I'm always like, how do I use the least amount of fabric to have the most left over for that potential future project that I might get to? Like, that consumes so much of my brain power.
How did you know? Have you got cameras set up in my sewing room that I don't know about?
Right.
Yes, I am guilty. Like, I watch, I've been doing some of the Art East Quilt Company stuff, like the Wizard of Oz quilt and the Mythical Darksons, and they give wonderful cutting instructions, but I ignore those because I'm like, I can do it better.
Yeah, so, same here. Yeah. Like, I can cut it more efficiently than that. Like, you're wasting 2 inches. Like, I can get so much more in that 2 inches. Yeah.
Yeah, but then on the flip side of that, like, I think the last clue that I cut out for the Wizard of Oz one that I've been doing, I spent so much time stressing over that it's sad. And so there was one time I just said, you know what, John does a good job at maximizing it pretty well. I think I can do better, but am I going to sit here and stress over it? No, I'm just going to follow his instructions. So sometimes I think you just need to let it go and just follow the instructions. Okay, Stephen Bland from Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilters here. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
And Pam from the Empty Nest Quilters says, Sean, Kim, and everyone in the chat. Sorry I'm late. Don't ever apologize for being late. We're just glad that you're here and having a good time. I know it's early for some, it's late for others, including Pam, because she's over on the east coast of Australia. So yeah, we are truly an international team here. So I think I might go ahead and get some sewing done. Hopefully, we'll see.
Okay.
I'm very easily distracted. So we just keep it real here. Stephen says it's difficult for me to write today, busy on my long arm. And a lot of people come in and watch the lives as well in the morning while they're sewing. That way they have someone to listen to while we entertain as well. So that's perfectly fine. You do you. We're happy that you're here. We love people in the chat, but if you want to just sew along with us or just sew, quilt on your long arm or whatever else that you want to do, you are more than welcome to do as well. So I am doing the lavender colorway, which is this one here. And if you do the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, never, ever, ever lose sight of this magical piece of paper, because you need to refer to this a lot, especially if you have a colorway like lavender where the colors are very, very similar.
Yes.
Last time around when I did my Benet, it wasn't as important because you could kind of figure out which one was which. But yeah, the lavender is a special challenge because it is so similar, and some of us have messed it up, including myself. Clue 1, I got B and A mixed up. I sewed it all together, went to do the second block, and I'm like, I don't have enough pieces. What's going on here? and it wasn't that Cotton Cuts messed up, it was Sean messed up. So out came my best friend, whose name will not be mentioned. It's a running joke on our channel. This is
Yeah.
my friend Jack. So he came out,
Is
and
it he who shall not be named? Is that
yes, that's what we call here on the live, as he who shall not be
Love-
named. Because
good,
every time we
good.
mention his name, and I've just jinxed myself, because every time we mention his name, about 5 or 10 minutes later, out he comes to go to
Yeah.
work. So yeah. All right,
Yeah.
what have we got? Thanks, it was scary. What am I missing here? Brenda says, thanks, it was scary. It was wonderful. The pattern turned out awesome.
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe she was talking about Piazza. I'm not 100% sure. And the Piazza turned out beautifully. Like, it was not,
Yes.
even though I didn't participate in it, it was I always love seeing the reveal videos. That's always a lot of fun, because it's kind of like, you build up to it, and you make your clues each month and everything else, but you never, like you said, you never know how it's going to turn out. And
Mhm.
it was so sweet. The only part that I got right, that I kind of figured out where it was going to go, was, I think, where is it? Somewhere. It was some of the borders. Oh yeah, this section down here.
Yep.
That part I figured out. I was like, these long strips here had to be part of a border. So that
Yep.
part I figured out. But as for the rest of it, not the first clue.
Well, and then so okay, so we're about to do 14. So I think we've had, over 25,000 mystery quilts sold, right? People participating, and only once has someone got it right. Have they laid the pieces out in the right orientation once out of all of that? And we had to, like, as soon as Sheila and I saw the photo, we're like, oh my God, someone tell her, take it down, take it down, take it down, shut it down. But only once has someone gotten close.
Yeah, and that person needs to go buy lottery tickets, because apparently
Yes.
either they have wicked skills, or they need to go buy lotto tickets and then send me just a small piece for suggesting that to them.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so Cheryl says, my Piazza is finished other than binding my most hated step. What is your least favorite step of quilting? Like, why don't we segue into that real quick?
So for me, so I am a professional quilt top finisher. Like I am really good at making a quilt top and then stacking it in the corner. Like, like once it gets to the quilting and the sandwiching and actually I guess, the technical quilting, as they say, that's the part that stumps me up every time. And I don't know why it like, I love piecing. I'm an engineer, Sean. I don't know if we talked about that, but I love the, like, geometry of pieces coming together and everything fitting and all the dimensions working out. But I, like, as I am sitting here in my craft room, there are easily 8 finished tops that aren't quilts yet. Like, you would think that's the easiest part, like 90% of the work is done. And I think it just comes down to, like, I got to clean the floor, and then I got to lay it down, and I got to, make sure everything is flat and even, and then all the safety pins, and then all the wrangling into my machine. And I know that professional long armors help a lot on the big ones, but like, for the baby ones, for my nieces and nephews, I feel like I should do those, and they don't get done. So yeah.
Like long lost cousins or something, because I'm the exact same way. Like, I found, like, we have a like one of those clothes racks, like a drying rack, and I hang all my flimsies, as Fallon calls them, on those, like the completed quilt tops, because
Mhm.
I don't like basting. I don't do the floor. I do all my basting on a table, because, like, rolling around the floor on my knees is just not my idea of fun. So doing it on a
Right.
table's fun, but I got to clean the table off and all that mess. The quilting, I don't mind so much. It's always that basting step. So if there's a professional basting service out there that exists,
Right.
that I can send it off to, let me know, because I may have to, yeah. Plus, I have to
Maybe
go.
that's the $1 million idea, Sean, right there, right? If someone can put the 3 pieces together in a situation where they're not slipping and sliding, like, and I would be in on that. I think that's amazing. And I think it's probably like the first quilts I made when I was a teenager, like, I would have the painter's tape and, like, tape it to the floor. And no matter how many safety pins I used, I always had that wrinkle in it. And I didn't have a walking foot, which is life-changing. Like, once I realized what a walking foot is and does, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this wrong for like 20 years. But again, I had, didn't have a fancy sewing machine. and no walking foot. And I would be just so frustrated with it. And I think that that early frustration with me is why I block it now as a much older, experienced quilter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part I've always not enjoyed at all. Like once I get it basted, I'm fine. I can go and quilt it. I don't have a long arm, but yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. I
You know,
also
once
think the concept of like spray basting as well has been life changing for me on small projects, because I like, if I have a smaller project, I'm not futzing around with safety pins and whatnot in that small project. I just spray baste it, and when I put them together, it's much easier for me to quilt, and I feel like that has really lowered my anxiety on this topic.
oh, there's an idea. Brenda says that long armers can baste them for you.
Oh,
I might have to look into that.
I might as well.
Yeah.
But then again, like in the advent of TikTok, you always see these people who have like crazy pool noodles, and they're like, and it's basted. And I'm like, okay, I know if I try it, it's never going to work like the TikTok video. But I was like, that looks really cool. Like I can aspirationally do that. And then I never get a chance to try it out.
No, I've seen that too, and I haven't had a chance yet either. So,
Yeah.
all right. So Russ is here from Quilt Meets World. Someone's saying something about Becca. Is Becca hopped in the house? If she did, she snuck in. I didn't see. No, maybe not. Okay. Okay, Amy C says, after hand basting my quilt yesterday, I've decided to rent time at my local quilt shop to baste the next 3 quilt tops. So that might be the way to go. Maybe the way to go. I really need to start taking mine into the office, because we have nice long tables there and a conference room that no one ever uses. So I think I just need to.
Okay, now you've got my like wheels spinning. Like, what if because our headquarters right now is in one of these like big abandoned malls, right? So there's lots of space. So what if like one day a month we just moved into one of the empty spaces and put giant tables up and said, come baste your quilts?
I think that'd be a wonderful idea.
Like we'll just lots of big tables, just come baste your quilts, spread out your stuff, and once a month you can it's an open based day.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful. I mean, it's a bit too far for me to drive.
I know.
But as I said, I can easily. I'm sure if I asked my general manager, "Hey, can I go borrow the conference room at lunchtime?" He wouldn't care.
Yeah, right.
I gave up on the floor many years ago. I just don't know how people roll around on the floor and then because I've got good knees. I'm still reasonably young, but it's just not my idea of fun. It's so much easier to do on the table. And I find like once you crawl around on the floor, it bunches it up as you move around, no matter how hard.
I was just thinking like that knee print in the middle, like, and I am such a, like, I spent so much time getting all my little corners to match on the quilt, and now I got a knee print that's wrinkling everything on the inside. I'm like, yeah.
I think
there must be a better way.
Yeah, if you haven't got access to a long arm, I think the long tables are definitely the way to go. So
yeah, love it.
That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
You're not wrong. The only one that would say you're wrong are the quilt police, and there are no quilt police here today.
Yeah, no, we don't worry about them.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Stephen says too, he loves his long arm for basting. So I think that's the way to go. Yeah, either the long tables or long arm if you have access to one of those as well. Russ says he bought a PVC hand quilting frame from a big box J store that he uses to base projects when he quilted on domestics. So you'll have to send me when you get a chance, Russ. Send me details on that. I'd like to learn more. Brenda says, where is Cotton Cuts located? You're in this St. Louis-ish area, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So we're in a suburb of St. Louis. So we are, suburb is St. Louis is not a big town. It's medium size. So we're just on the outskirts in the county of St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to St. Louis once, but it was like almost 25 years ago. So
probably hasn't changed much.
I think I came from the east side because I came from central Illinois, and we went out to where Six Flags was, and then we went back. So
yeah. All right. So Sean, tell me, how did you get into sewing? What is your origin story? What was the catalyst for you to get into quilting?
Okay, so I took home ec in high school because in
Mhm,
seventh and eighth grade it was mandatory, and I learned not a thing. So that sadly is not the story. If my
mhm.
home ec teacher saw me quilting now, she would probably die of a heart attack because I'd probably be the least likely to succeed. But to find, how I got into it, I went to the State Fair of Virginia in 2013, I think it was, for the first time. And I saw all these quilts at the, I have a quilt show there. And I thought that'd be so much fun. I think I could sit. I'm like you. I love the piecing aspect of it. That's more for me. To me, quilting was putting the quilt tops together. I really, really want to try this. And apparently, I talked about it enough that my wife went out and bought this sewing machine for me for Christmas that year.
Oh,
And I didn't know how to wind the bobbin. I didn't know how to thread the machine. So my good friends at YouTube taught me everything, and away I've gone. So
mhm.
that's me in a nutshell and how I started.
That's fantastic. Your wife that's awesome that your wife bought you the sewing machine. I love that part of the story. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, I was looking into getting one and everything else, and yeah, she just took it upon herself. She's a knitter. She's been knitting for about 12 years, so she'd started knitting a couple of years before me, and I guess she really enjoys that, and I guess she just figured, well, if I'm enjoying this much, why don't I get Sean started on
Mhm,
something that will bring him as much joy as it does to me with her knitting. So
mhm. That's awesome. That's great.
she's yeah, she's terrified of the sewing. I tried to teach her how to sew, and she's just terrified of the sewing machine. So,
Oh my gosh. That's fantastic.
but yeah, I mean, she is a wonderful knitter. She does a really good job. She has entered socks and shawls into the state fair and won first prize on those.
Mhm.
Of which I'm just a wee bit jealous because I haven't got any blue ribbons yet. I've gotten 2 third places,
Okay.
which I'm very, very happy with. Like, don't get me wrong, but it'd be wonderful to have that blue ribbon or best in section like she did last year. So
Mhm.
uh, I
Great.
tell everybody that will listen to me what she was able to achieve. So
Yeah. 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 That's awesome.
yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Tracy says she has a great knitting vlog too. Yeah, my wife does have her own channel. It is Dog Mom Knits. Martha's already put the link in the chat if you haven't seen it already. Good morning, Brandy. It's good to see you. She has her own channel as well. And so you said you had a couple of puzzle mystery quilts that you had brought along today. You have the one
Yes.
from the Piazza, which you're finishing
Yes.
up the Campo.
Yes. Yeah. So as I said on the live, right. So Campo is the one that I picked out for my niece. And so my PMQ, so I did the very first PMQ. And I've done probably every other one since, but I use this as a good way to make a gift for my nieces and nephews as they've entered the world, is in
Mhm.
utero. I let the mom pick out a colorway, and my goal is to have the quilt by the baby's first birthday. And
Mm.
so I picked Campo for my niece. And so I literally had zero sewing done on it. And I went out of town last week for 3 days by myself, just picked a cottage in the middle of nowhere. And I have it almost done, which is great because her birthday is Wednesday. So I'm real close to hitting her first birthday. But yeah, so I'm almost done with my Campo small. I told you also I had Sean as well to sew from Olympia, which was
I like
my
that.
nephew's quilt. It's still not done, and he turns 2 next month. So I'm getting
That's
close. I'm getting close. It's okay. Life, right? We all have these life things that get in the way. And frankly, the kids are 1 and 2. They're not going to know that they got it on their first birthday or their second birthday. All that matters is that they eventually get it. So
exactly. And that's,
yeah.
something I've talked to a few people about recently is like, I think we set ourselves, like goals and deadlines and that sort of thing there. And, I think we sometimes put a little too much pressure on ourselves to get stuff done by a particular date. Now, sometimes it's important. Like if you want to enter a quilt into a show and you
Yeah.
want to submit it 2 weeks late, they're going to tell you, sorry for your luck, come back next year. But
Mhm.
other than that, this is your craft time. This is your fun time. We have
Mhm.
enough deadlines and pressure on ourselves during the week, for those that, aren't retired and, that sort of thing there, um, during the week with work and everything else. Why do we need to do that for our craft time? Just enjoy the journey, have fun with it. And if it takes you a bit longer than you expected, it's okay. Like you said, the kid's not going to know
Right.
if it gets on the first or second birthday. I mean, I've kind of fell into that too, because I made I got the quilt top done for my niece, and I wanted to get it down to her before she was born, and she's almost 7 months old now, and I still haven't
Yeah,
basted it.
it's fine.
It'll get down there at some point, you know.
Yeah. 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 And I think and people are always posting in the group about how they're behind on the puzzle. They're behind on the puzzle mystery, they're behind several months. And I'm like, I like sew 4 to 5 months at a time. Like I've got to group them together, and I just take like, that's how I prefer to sew it. The people that sew, like as soon as they get it, they sew it. As soon as they get it, they sew it. I admire those people that have that discipline to do that. Me, I'm like, it's got to stack up a little bit and be visible for me to like sit down and do it. So
Yeah, and I mean, me personally, I like this is the project that I like to pull out. When I come home from work, I want to sew, but I don't want to have anything that's too extravagant or too difficult. Like it's just a lot of fun, because it's so, you pull it out 45 minutes, an hour later, usually, some people are faster than others, you're done. So, I think, whether you want to stack it up and do it 4 or 5 months at a time, I did that at the beginning of So Sweet, because I was one of those folks that, there was like 80 or 90 packages that went missing the first month.
yes,
It wasn't your
yes, I know what you're talking about.
It was not your fault.
But, I know. I mean, Sean, I can, even to this day, I can still see the bag that those clues were in, because I know exactly who packaged them. I saw them put them into the bag. I remember I carried the bag onto the mail truck. Like, and I'm just like, like here we are, like 2 years later, I still have nightmares about it.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah. I think it fell to the back, and I talked to Robin about this. I was like, I think honestly it fell to the back of a truck somewhere. And it's probably laid down the middle of the interstate somewhere, or at a ditch or something else like that. Like I didn't care. You guys apologized. It wasn't your fault. And really, at the end of the day, it was clue one. Like, as long as we got it before October, did it really matter?
I know, right? As long as you get it before the reveal, everything works out. I mean, I kid you not, Sean. It was like February, and I was at the post office. Like I was looking in the back of the loading dock. I was looking down in the ditch. I was looking in dumpsters. I mean, I was like, where, like they just disappeared. It's the strangest thing that's ever happened. And in 7 years, like the strangest thing that's ever happened.
And I wasn't upset at all. I was just like, what, I want to get started on it, but it is what it is. So I figure it's either stuck in the middle, it's probably stuck in the corner of a truck somewhere that they haven't used in the last 2 years, and it'll magically show up one day, or it just fell on the cliff somewhere. I don't think the aliens came out of the sky and decided to take take that home with them to learn how to quilt. And if they did, that's wonderful that they use cotton cuts to do it. And I don't think anybody stole it, because what would you do with 82 clue ones?
Clue ones, right? I know, all these clue ones. What are you going to do with that?
And if they do, and they learn how to quilt from it, more power to them.
Exactly.
So there we go.
I am impressed that you were legit sewing a clue while we're talking. I am beyond impressed, Sean. Like I would not be able. Again, your practice, as we started the conversation, you're experienced in this, so you know what you're doing, as opposed to me, who's still staring at my strips because I'm so nervous to get them out, because I'm going to sew them upside down and then have to get my she who shall not be named out of its place.
Yes. No, we don't want to do that if we can avoid it.
Right.
Stephen says, when you create deadlines for yourself, you take all the fun out of quilting, and I totally agree with that. Just have your fun with it. Don't worry about it.
Really. And I think for me, I am such a goal person, right? Like I feel like it's my goal to have these by their first birthday. But if I don't, it's fine. It's just a goal. It's not a deadline. It's not like deadline makes me feel like I have to have it, or there'll be some punishment raining down. Right. And I feel like a goal is something like, it's okay. Goals can be moved. They're aspirational.
Absolutely. And that's something that I talk about on my podcast each week. I do set goals, and I'm exactly the same way. Like I would like to get this done this week, but if I miss it, so be it. It kind of just gives me an idea of what I would like to do. So
Yes.
that way I'm not walking into my sewing room at the end of the day going, okay, what am I going to do now? If I set myself and a lot of times I'll set myself more goals than I can ever possibly hope to, get. At least that way, to me, it gives me guidance. It's kind of like a guide more than anything else.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
all right, let's see. Okay. So Jan says hello from Ireland. Good afternoon. It's good to see you here. And let's see, did I miss anybody else? Kathy Walcott wandered in. I think I said hi to everybody. If I missed someone, I apologize. It is like Kim was saying, it's difficult to multitask. Because you got the chat, you have the sewing, you have talking to my guests. I try and catch everybody, but I do miss the occasional person, and it's not because I mean to. It's just it's sometimes hard to keep up. Good morning, Mary G. It's good to see you as well. We are just for anyone that wandered in late, this is Kim Moos from Cotton Cuts. She is the owner and founder of Cotton Cuts, and we're just sitting there having a good chat. Some of us are doing some sewing as well from time to time, but I really haven't got much done. So far, I've gotten this much done. Some days I get a lot done, some days I don't. So, but we're just having a good time, having a bit of a chat, and just, having a good Saturday morning so far. Okay. Okay, so everyone else is there. So yeah, I got this done, and then I'm working on the next piece. All right, let me get this done. Now I'm really distracted, and that's not fun.
It's okay. So you're sewing lavender, and you've sewed vignette. So are you a batiks guy, Sean? Is that your preferred fabric?
Yes, I am very, very picky with my fabrics.
Okay.
I'm not a big floral person, and a lot of the fabrics out there, and that's another reason I don't really subscribe to a whole lot of, haven't really subscribed to any boxes besides you guys, because you have got that flexibility. Because a lot of the boxes out there tend to like the floral stuff, which I know a lot of the ladies really, really enjoy. It's not my cup of tea. I kind of fell into the batiks bandwagon because I just like them. There's not very many batiks out there that I don't enjoy. So it makes it easier. And even if it is a floral batik, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah. I think so. When I was growing up, batiks were always the expensive, exotic fabrics that we could never look at. We always had to do the calicos. We always had to do the florals. That was what I grew up thinking quilting was and could only be. And it wasn't until I started Cotton Cuts that I actually started playing with batiks. And I'm a believer now. I'm like, why did I spend so much time sewing floral fabrics when there are so many beautiful batiks out there? And I think one of my favorite things to do with batiks is to paper piece, because they don't have a right side, wrong side. I can make mistakes and you can't tell. I will paper piece with batiks from now until the end of time because they have so much flexibility. I love it. And they're easier. They get sharper creases. Like when I am paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, it's a batik every day of the week.
Yeah, and that's actually, I have to bring that up. I did buy a foundation paper piecing pattern from Legit Kits. It's a huge dragon.
Yes. You bought the dragon?
I got the pattern, yes, because I want to bring my own. I want to bring my own fabrics into it. And my original goal was to do the solids, just like they said, because I don't want to do red. I want to do like maybe green or blue or purple or pink. I don't know yet. But someone did actually suggest to me about a month ago that I should do it in all batiks. And the more and more I think about it, I think that's the way to go. So it's kind of on the side burner for now. I have so many other projects that I want to do before I even tackle toasty, because I'm a very much a beginner with foundation paper piecing. But yeah, at some point in the next 10 years, I'd like to be sooner. I really do need to be sooner. At some point in the next 10 years, you'll see Toasty the Dragon finished.
Wow. I loved the dragon. Those kits are intense. Like
yes.
I love foundation paper piecing. I've done a lot of it. Those kits are legit, as it says, as this says in their name. I am always impressed with what they do. And they do solids, probably for the same reason why I like batiks, right? There's no wrong side, no right side. You don't have to think about that as an element of making mistakes, because it's frustrating, right? Once you sew it on the paper and you rip it out, your paper starts to wear down over time. So I get it completely.
Yeah.
So on that, keep talking, Sean. Give me headset.
Yeah, I'm a huge, like, anyone that's watched me for more than 20 minutes knows too that I love solids. So a lot of the patterns that I gravitate towards are solid based. So same reason, I don't have to worry about the right and wrong side. So yeah, if you want to make it easier on yourself, that's definitely the way to go.
In my aspirational category are these guys. Have you seen these, Sean?
No, I have not.
Yeah, they're MJ Kinman. So she has a whole series of birthstones that are both foundation and freezer paper pieced. And
Okay.
so here, let me see if I can zoom in. So like there's all the birthstones that you can do.
Oh,
And
wow.
so she had an awesome booth when she came to visit us. And so I got all my family's birthstones. So I got all 4 of ours. So like this is July in the kit. It's all solids. And you can use it to make like the July birthstone. So this is my, like your dragon, this is my future like aspirational project that I hope to make. And I don't know how to freezer a paper piece, but like YouTube will tell me what I need to know.
Yes.
And I'll figure it out. So yes, definitely. That's on my short aspirational list.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I've heard about freezer paper piecing. I have not done it, but I noticed some really good tutorials. I don't know, Donna from Ying, Handmade by Ying, might have a tutorial on it. I'd be surprised if she didn't. But yeah, like you said, just go out there and look. Someone will have some wonderful stuff out there. My extent of foundation paper piecing, let's see, do I have an example? Yeah, I do actually. Is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Allison Glass trinkets. I was just saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm again very, very much a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, I love it. All right,
yeah.
so you're doing trinkets. So are you going to do all of them? Like that's those projects where it's like 100 blocks, 100 days, or like trinkets where it's a lot of blocks are awesome. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah. What I want to do with this actually, like I might do the entire thing at some point, but I want to do the trees, maybe the houses, the boats, and that sort of thing. There, I want to make a small, like 24 by 24 quilt, like same size as this, and enter it into the State Fair of Virginia this year as my doll quilt submission. So that's the current goal. I don't know if I'm going to achieve it. I kind of need to do something, but we'll see what happens now. That's a neat suggestion. Thank you, Pam. She says Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore, I think, does freezer paper piecing. She has wonderful tutorials. So yeah, if she has something, that's definitely a good resource.
I feel like because in general, like the concept is you don't sew through the paper, so you don't have to take the paper off when you're done, which feels a little like voodoo magic to me, but I kind of want to learn it, right? Like because taking that paper off is not super fun.
Yeah, I'm all about learning new techniques. I mean, foundation paper piecing scared me for the longest time, and Beth from Goody Goods finally talked me into giving it a go. She's one of your ambassadors. I think she's doing Sweet Wings this time around.
She is, yes.
And I think I'm definitely going to be more I think I gravitate more towards traditional. That's just my love. But it's nice knowing the foundation paper piece. And so that way, if I see a pattern out there that I like, I'm not scared to do it. I can buy the pattern and put it to the side for 5 years like a little toasty.
I mean, that's what we all do, right? That's what you're supposed to do. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to actually make it when we buy it.
Depends on who you talk to. My view on this, just like we talked about a little bit ago, this is your craft time, you do you. Now, I think you should have a plan for what you buy, whenever possible. But then, sometimes if you see something that you like, you need to get it because when you go back, it might not be there. There's a very limited run on every fabric. I've learned the hard way. So yeah, it's difficult.
All right, so Sean, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just reading one of the Nancy says she's doing trinkets. Pam says that Kim, you can do the knot stitching through the paper with normal FPP as well. Okay, so yeah, apparently we need to go learn stuff. So
Yeah, I'm always willing to try something new once. Like I'll give it a whirl. I'll try it. I love it. Because it's in that Sean, that mindset we were talking about when we cut fabric. Like I can do it better. Like teach me
Yes,
something new, and then I'll be able to do it better. I think that's
exactly.
I think that's a common. So Sean, I was going to ask, do you do EPP as well?
No, I have not
No.
tried. I will at some point. I would like to try everything, like you said, everything at least once.
Mhm.
But I um, have not tried that yet. I will at some point, but I just don't know when. There's too many wonderful projects that's on the list that I'd like to do first. But yeah,
Yeah.
this at some point in my life, I will do it.
So for me, I fought it for the longest time. I'm like, I don't hand sew anything. Like I got a machine for this. I'm not going to hand sew anything. And then my kids started running track and swimming. And there is nothing worse than 4 hours in a single location to watch 2 minutes of activity. And I was like, I can't just sit here and read a book because I'm always wanting to look. And so I started EPPing during those events. And it's been fun because I can take it with me. It's very portable. I just need like a little pouch that has all my tools in it, and I can take it with me. And if I want to do it, I can. And if I don't want to, I don't have to. But I feel like that's been kind of my gateway to take the sewing with me.
Yeah, and that's the portability is wonderful. But yeah, because that's something like with my wife knitting, she can take it on the go. I mean, she can knit on Subway, she can knit in the movie theater. She's figured out how to do that, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm a little jealous that I can't take, my sewing machine, and go down the street with it. So yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
do need to learn how to hand sew. And that's something that's on the list for me to do sometimes, very, very soon.
I have been known to EPP in a movie theater as well. Somehow, like my husband got mad at me. He's like, watch the movie. And I'm like, no, like I can do this while I'm here. I want to get this stitch done.
I have a very nasty habit of going to a movie theater and then falling asleep halfway into it. So maybe I need to learn how to EPP so I can actually stay awake.
Right.
Yeah, now that you
Uh,
say that, that might be a really, really good idea.
mhm.
Susie says Donna handmade by Ying. With Donna has lots of FPP projects for every level of learner. So yeah, you might want to check out her channel as well and see what tutorials
Okay.
she has.
That would be
Was
awesome. Yeah.
I don't know if she's still here. She was here a little earlier as well.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, she has a lot of wonderful tutorials as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, all right, Kate says deciding a batik for the dragon might be a little easier for dragon. There are colors within colors. Legit kits have so many colors. That's quite the challenge to pick your own color. Yeah, I didn't realize quite how big a challenge that was until I actually brought the pattern home. And yeah, but yeah, we'll get it done at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tracy says she does the same thing many nights at a dance studio and EPP. Brandy's the same way. EPP and cross stitch are her travel crafts. So yeah, that's definitely a good option. Thank you for joining us, Linda. Yeah, sleep. Okay, Cheryl says she also sleeps in the movie theater. Okay, well, it's good that I'm not alone. My mother was the same way. Apparently, she used to fall asleep during the movie theater as well. So I got part of my block done.
You got part of it done?
Yep,
Woohoo. All
so I got
right.
that much
So
done.
I found it. So this is the EPP I did while the kids were swimming.
Oh wow.
And yeah, it's like a lion's head. I'm going to make it in a pillowcase. But yeah, like you, I got the pattern and I was like, I'm going to get interesting fabrics. It'll be a pink mane and it'll be black and pink.
I love that. I think it looks really, really cute.
Thank you.
Let me make sure I did this right.
Does
Yes.
it match this? Okay, good.
Yes.
So Sean, I always, when I'm sewing, I always recommend to folks like lay it all out. And I know you and I are chatting and you're in a different space, but I'm like a big fan of like lay the block out completely. So that way, if you're short extra parts and you got the wrong fabric in the wrong place, it's just a little insider tip or trick.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's wonderful.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
now, what else have I done wrong here? Oh no,
Don't
that's
say
that.
what else have I done wrong? Like,
Well, that's just what I do. And then when I find I haven't done anything wrong, I'm like, oh, hooray.
you can celebrate.
Yeah, so it works
Yep.
out. All right, so we got this. Yeah, and these are just wonderful fabrics. I love this one. This is like one of my favorites out of this collection.
Yes, those purples are lovely.
Yeah, and then that one there. And this is so different to what I normally do. I am definitely more a bright, the brighter the better.
The purple batiks are always our number one. Most people love the purple batiks.
All right, it's been a lot of fun, and it's a new challenge for me, and I've really enjoyed doing something a little different. Everyone's saying they love your EPP project there.
Oh,
and I think it's
thanks.
fun with those colors. You know, it's different. You know, I always like doing something that's not the same as everybody else. Probably why I decided not to do Toasty in the red.
Yeah, I'm always I see it, but I use it as a springboard for inspiration. There's a lot of people that that they go into the quilt shop and they want to make the exact quilt they see, right? And that's absolutely fine and fantastic. But I'm always like, hey, what if I changed out this for this and changed out this for this and moved this over here and turn this block a different way? Which is probably why I don't finish as much as people that that do it the other way.
Yeah, I think we're all definitely different. Like, you know, you do. Yeah, I think you need to do what works for you. But yeah, to me, a pattern is kind of like a recipe when you're cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a be all and end all. It's, you know, you do, if you want to change up the colors, you want to change up the layout, everything else, you know, do it. I mean, have some fun with it. So
no, I think that's actually the actual perfect way to look at it, Sean, is it's like a recipe, right? And so there's those things that you've been told and have been passed down to you and are handwritten. There's a new recipe and you modify it and you like handwrite in the corner, like add tomatoes next time, or like substitute more salt, less this, more butter, all that good stuff. So I like that as a springboard.
That's just, yeah, I don't know. It came to me, I don't know, a while ago, like recently, but yeah, I was like, yeah, I really use them as like a recipe. Like I made a koala quilt last year from Elizabeth Hartman. That thing is stunning, you know, but the colors that were in the pattern, like I didn't like the background color, so I changed it to blue. And then some of the colors of the koalas themselves, I was like, I'd rather have this. So I just, yeah, definitely use it as a recipe is my way.
Right.
Kate's asking, where did the batiks come from that you guys use? I know a lot of them is from Hoffman, correct?
Yes, so a lot of ours originate from Hoffman. They're super fantastic to work with. We love working with Hoffman. We did get for Piazza, those came from Michael Miller. And we've gotten some from Robert Kaufman before, but Hoffman is where we get most of our batiks.
Right, that's what I thought, but I wasn't certain. Oh,
yeah, I mean, Hoffman offers the best colors, the best designs, and from my perspective, I always like companies that can give me more when I need more, and Hoffman is always very fantastic about shipping us more if we need it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that makes a because that supply chain is always a challenge.
It's an opportunity, yes.
I work in international shipping, so I understand the logistics and that sort of stuff behind the supply chain. So
very good.
Okay,
what do
someone
you
else.
Oh, go ahead.
Someone else had another question here as well. I'm sorry. Okay, the difference between EPP and FPP. Foundation paper, and you might have to help me with this one, but
that's okay, go right ahead.
Is where you have your paper and you stitch onto the paper itself, and then you tear the paper out, correct?
Yes.
And then EPP, can you explain the difference? You probably be able to answer this better than I can.
Okay, so I've got, let me get some, give me 20 seconds and I'll get some samples to show the difference here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, Nancy, well, thank you for joining us. And yeah, definitely come back and check out the replay when you get a chance. All right, let's see.
Okay, so foundation paper piecing is you print a pattern onto the fabric like this, and you sew on the lines. And so they're different depending on different products, but you've got the fabrics on the back, and you put them right sides together, and then you stitch on the lines, you cut, you flip it over, you cut, you flip it over. And then at the end, you take all the paper off, and you have something that's a pretty intricate design that you could, in theory, piece if you wanted to just piece it, but it's pretty complicated because sometimes it might have Y seams or it might be harder to do. English paper piecing is actually you baste fabric onto a pre-cut shape. So in this case, it's a hexagon. This is very common. And so I have just kind of, really cheap kind of Coats and Clark thread that I have that you use to baste it. And so you fold the edges around and you flop, and then what you're doing is kind of prepping this piece, and then you can sew it together with other pieces that are like it. So let me grab another hexagon here. And so here's an example of two that I've sewn together. And so you put them together like this, and then stitch on that edge. You use super teeny tiny little stitches, and you only stitch through the fabric, and then you open it up. And so in this case, it looks like I had kind of the challenge to pattern match those. And so you can sew these together. You can make kind of placemats. You can do lots of different crazy things. I am also a big fan of participating in online swaps. And so one of the ones that I've done several times is a coffin. So it's something that's commonly done at Halloween, right? So people all around the world will kind of pick different fabrics, and you can so that's the thing with EPP is you're basting the fabric onto different shapes, and then you can sew them together like this, and you can kind of create different things.
That's different. I mean, that'd be good for like Day of the Dead too, right?
What's that now?
Like that might be something good for Day of the Dead, isn't that like a?
Yes, Dia de los Muertos. Yes, for sure. Yeah, and so with EPP, so like the lion head that I showed, right? So I had 4-sided shapes, 5-sided shapes, 6-sided shapes, and you baste the fabric around it, and then you sew all your pieces together by hand. You're whip stitching them together, and then you can get something super complex and pretty and mosaic like that.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for explaining that, because I kind of knew the basics, but I figured since I had someone who knew more about it than I did, I just let them in.
So, not a professional teacher. This is not professional advice. This is something that I've picked up and learned. And like you said, Sean, there are people out there that can explain this infinitely better than I can. But at a super high level, that's kind of what the concepts are for each one of these.
But yeah, that definitely gives us an idea, and that sort of thing there. Brandy said she tends to use darker backgrounds in most patterns versus what the pattern has. And I'm kind of the same way. I really enjoy using a darker background on the majority of my quilts. I've just really fallen into that as well. That is a great question. Do you take the template out once you're finished, or does it stay in?
So for English paper piecing, I usually take them out. And so I usually do. And so there's a couple different methods of doing that. And so I am a believer in the press it until it can walk out the door itself. It's so stiff. So I press, take the paper out, and then you can applique it onto something, or you can cut it and use it as the actual quilt top. Other people will actually applique it, and then on the back, they cut the back of the fabric and pull the paper out from what they've appliqued onto. There's a couple different ways. I think the only time I EPP and leave the paper in is if I'm doing a bookmark. So when I sewed those 2 hexagons together, I've taught people how to make bookmarks. So you put 3 hexagons on top, 3 hexagons on the back, and you stitch around the perimeter and you make a bookmark. And so that's kind of a beginner EPP. We leave the paper in because it's stiff, and it helps with it actually fits the project.
Oh, nice. That's a neat idea. I like that.
So going back to the dark backgrounds, so Juicy Juice, who I love, Giuseppe, he recommends that a background doesn't have to be a neutral. It doesn't have to be black. It doesn't have to be white. And he encourages people to try purple, to try navy, to try yellow, and just consider it kind of a background setting when you're looking at your quilts, because there's so many that are white or black. But he's use a purple, use a navy, and kind of see what happens to your project. And I love that just mind-bending type idea.
Oh, absolutely. And I agree with that. I use a very dark gray, and I kind of fell into it by accident. It's called Pepper. It's by Kona Cotton.
Mhm.
It's my kind of go-to for solids. And the reason I kind of fell into it is I went looking for black for a background for a quilt, and it was not long after the pandemic started, and you couldn't find black or white fabric to save your life. And
No.
they had a couple of yards of this pepper fabric left, and I was like, well, I'll take that home and try it, and absolutely love it. And I've been using it ever since for most of my
Mhm.
stuff. So
Yeah.
but definitely try, some different colors and see what you can come up with.
I'm
Uh,
I'm in I'm in a purple phase, and so this is a purple batik that I have that I'm starting to use as kind of some backgrounds for some projects as well, just because it's like purple, it's got a little bit of mottled black in there, has a little
yeah.
bit of texture, but like paired with these batiks, like it would be fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think I'll put it away. Or is it within arm's reach? I have those fabrics that you just pulled out and made a
Oh yeah.
quilt out of it last year. Yeah. So they're a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Um, Brandy says she recently got navy and brick red and dark gray to use as her backgrounds. Donna says, thanks for explaining. The coffins look like a blade of a Dresden. Oh, that's true.
You did, and I've used that before. I fussy cut out some like calypso on a fabric and I put them
Uh,
on that shape, and I made a Dresden of all these calypso dancers around kind of a pineapple middle. But you're absolutely right. It can be used as a Dresden kind of cheater rather than trying to piece it.
yeah, that's always a good idea. So
Mhm.
um, someone was asking here too, it was Kate, have you ever seen batik fabric being made?
In person, no. Like everyone, it's on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
So I've seen it being made with the hot wax and the release, and like literally it's outside in the open air. It's very fascinating to be seen, but
yeah,
I've never personally seen it in person.
yeah. I'm the same way. I've seen it on videos. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, definitely go check it out. I think So Yeah had a video on it a year or two ago that I saw. Well, they showed the blocks, like the templates that they use. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely something fun to go watch if you get a chance to see
There's a
that.
lot of places, if you can find it, there's a lot of places in your local markets that'll sometimes have batik making classes, not necessarily at the quilt shops, but if you have a community college, they will actually do hand dyeing using a batik process. I've had some employees that have found classes that way.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out because I live in a fairly fair sized metro area, so maybe our local community college, one of the two that we have nearby, would actually have that. So I might have to go check into that because that'd be fun to do
Yeah.
at least once.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting fairly close to being done with this block, which is
I am,
nice.
Sean, blown away. I am impressed that you're able to do that while talking and navigating the comments and emceeing. I'm impressed.
Well, yeah, it's all practice and having someone else to talk to and entertain everybody while I do all this stuff helps. Okay, Martha says she remembers making batik paper in high school art class. I love that so much. Oh, that's neat.
Yep.
And then Janet said she saw it many years ago in Indonesia, in Bali. It's where they make a lot of the batiks,
Mhm.
from my understanding, and I could be wrong on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
And
Janet, like Bali's not that far away. For us, it's like a day and a half on a plane. So,
right, yeah. And so it's actually in Bali, it's on an island named Java, where the vast majority of them are made, which is why we call our batik membership Java, because it's the name of the island in Bali in Indonesia where a vast majority of the batiks are made.
I know exactly where that is. Yeah, because Bali and Indonesia, like well, Bali's part of Indonesia, but it's kind
Mhm.
of like it's kind of like the Caribbean for us here in the US. It's a
Yeah.
it's 3-4 hour flight. You either go to Fiji or Indonesia, basically, if you want to go somewhere tropical,
Yeah.
outside the country. So
Mhm.
sounds very exotic and tropical to us here in the US, but it's fairly common for us in Australia to go. I haven't been to either one, unfortunately. I've flown over Fiji many, many times, but never
Mhm.
actually stopped.
Yeah, I always hear people who do like honeymoons to Fiji, and I'm like, you're like 2 days there, 2 days back. Like, oh my God, it's fantastic. It's awesome. It's beautiful. But like 2 days there and 2 days back, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to spend, that much time in an airplane with someone that I just married.
It's a lot. It is a long way. That's the worst part of going down there is definitely the flight down and back. Once you and then playing with jet lag, that's always a joy.
Yes.
Going there is not so bad. I always find the trip home whenever you travel eastbound, it's always worse coming back than it is going there.
How often do you make it home, Sean?
About every 5 years on average. So it's
how long do you go for? I've heard 2 weeks, but how long do you go back for?
I usually go for a month.
Good for you.
Because if you got to spend a day and a half there and a day and a half back, you might as well make it worth it. And thankfully, all my employers over the years have been very gracious and allowed me to do it. And with my current position, I can work remotely. So, and I've already been given, next time I go, my boss said, yes, you can work remotely, you just have to work US hours, which will be challenging because that would be like 10:30 p.m. to like 5 in the morning. But, it allows me to stay an extra couple of weeks. It's absolutely worth it.
Agreed.
I am almost done with my block. I'm actually very, very happy that I am as far along as I am. Okay, let's see.
And this is clue 4 of lavender?
Yes, in the small.
Okay, very good. All right, so you, we wanted to talk about Carnival. Which colorway are you looking at right now for Carnival?
I am looking at the one that has not been named yet. It is like the batiks with the blue and the red and the white, I think it is.
Okay, so it's very patriotic. It's meant to be like red, white, and blue. Okay. Yes. That one, we always have a red, white, and blue one. I asked Sheila to design us up one in batiks this time. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that's very red, white, and blue, which is great in the UK, great in the US, depending on where you are, maybe not so okay, but I just want to make sure everyone's clear that that's what that one's going to look like.
That's what I figured, because I know I have noticed that you do a red, white, and blue, and you colors of the Australian flag are red, white, and blue. So I mean, it doesn't matter if it's US. Yeah. Australia, for me, it fits the bill both ways. It just kind of appealed to me. One that looks like Benet look nice too, but so I just wanted to do something a little bit different this time around. I love it.
And in this one, so I give that disclaimer. It is still a beautiful quilt. It is still lovely. Like this is one of my favorite red, white, and blues that we've designed, and so it looks fantastic.
I think they all look fantastic, in their own ways. The one I really liked, and I would never have expected it, is the one that Ian did for Piazza, that blue and
San
white.
Marco? Yes.
I'm terrible with names, so
that's okay.
That one so beautifully.
Yeah, no, that one and that one we probably could still do some more whole quilts for. So if people like that colorway, we probably have enough fabric that we could cut a small or a large if folks really like it. You've heard it here. Email my team, they'll figure it out. But we have enough fabric left over that I bet you we can get a quilt or two more out of it if people love it that much.
That would be nice. Do I really need another project? Do I really need
I mean, it's going to be pre-cut, it's not going to be hard to put together.
I'll sit there and I'll have to think on that one.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's nice. The other thing I was going to ask you about too is I heard about the Gnomes program, and I heard you design that.
I did. Yes.
I think that's fantastic that you actually sat down and designed that whole thing. Like I've wanted to do design, like block design and that sort of thing there. There's just not enough hours in the day for me because I do this on the side. I do have a full-time job, but yeah, I just think it's absolutely amazing that you have the Gnomes program out there. It's a lot of fun. But you actually, now Martha told me that you designed it yourself, and I was like,
I did, yeah.
That's fantastic.
I like to be creative. I like creative outlets, and designing that project, it's been challenging, right? Because you have to be able to convey so much information in 6 by 12 or 6 by 11. Like you can only get so much, and my absolute favorite gnomes are coming. I love the July gnomes. I was able to get gnomes in bathing suits, believe it or not. Like the
Wow.
gnomes are in bathing suits. They are stinking adorable. And July and August, those are my two favorite ones, and they're coming up. So you guys are not going to want to miss those.
Yeah, I haven't done any of the gnomes yet, but I want to, and I'm actually going to do it with Martha and Robin next month. So
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and when we're talking about carnival, so a couple things for your folks, and these are things that are probably like early release that not everyone knows. So we're going to do Oops Kits again, and we're going to do coordinating thread again, which I know people really liked both of those. We're going to do borders again as well. So for those folks that want to make them bigger, and we're also going to be offering backing at the beginning. And you get to choose the backing fabric that you want ahead of time. And so the way we're making that work is we're picking coordinating fabrics that match your quilt top. And you get to pick, like, of these three, which do you want on the back of your quilt? And you'll be able to pre-order it. So you don't have to worry about what we might have left over. You won't have to worry about finding it 10 months down the road. So we're going to be doing all of that for Carnival this time new.
That's awesome. Okay, so while we're on that little subject, as a personal note for me, since you're doing that Benet colorway again, could I purchase backing for my Sew Suite?
Yeah, send Robin a note. She'll take care of you. Yeah, Sean, I got people for that.
And that's one reason I haven't backed it yet, because I've struggled to find something that I like. And if I can get like this blue or one of the colors that's in this as a backing, yeah, you'd be my best friends forever. So yeah, I'll send Robin a note.
Because the new colorway, it's like it but different. But we have a ton of that in the shop now because of the Gnome Project. So at the end of the day, we're going to have like 60 of the 1895s in the shop because of the Gnome Project. So we can easily cut yardage for you. Send Robin a note. She'll hook you up.
Okay. Yeah. I will definitely do that. That'll make my life easier, because I've walked into a few quilt shops and I just haven't found anything that I've liked. And I was like, it'll come to me one day. So yeah, now that you've told me about that, I will be set. So that's awesome. All right, let me just make sure.
I think that's a general note for everybody, right? So we want you to finish your projects. Believe it or not, like, that is success for us. And so if you're struggling to find backing, if you need extra fabric for borders, reach out to my team and we will do everything we can to help you. If we don't have the fabric ourselves, we can recommend substitutions. And we've been known to in the past actually go and search the internet and find shops that have the exact fabric you need and help you connect you with them. So to make it as easy as possible, we want people to finish. That's the ultimate success for us. And so anything that we can do, just our people are standing by.
Excellent. All right, I will definitely do that. So I just figured at some point.
Oh no, he shall not be named. You were doing so well.
Okay, so yeah, I sewed this on the wrong side.
Oh no.
So it's not supposed to be like this. This middle part's supposed to be flipped. So
flipped over, yeah.
Oh well, okay. It is what it is.
So Sean, so I've been told there's a right and a wrong way to use the "he who shall not be named." That you're not supposed to use the pokey end where the fabric is.
Okay, so what am I putting?
So I believe the ball point is supposed to go where the fabric is, and you run it down the fabric without the pokey edge contacting the fabric.
I've heard that's a quick way to do it, but I've always been scared to do that in case I tear out the fabric or do something.
The fabric, I know. Yeah, I know. I know.
I want to try that one day, but not on this because I don't have extra fabric to play with. So.
Well, so again, I know someone that can help you. And so, right. So I mean, everyone, if this happens to you, and if you make a mistake like this and you're not using a batik and it stretches on you, like, it's no big deal. Just send us a note. We will send you whatever pieces that you need. That's an easy one. I'd rather grab 2 triangles off the shelf and send them to you and have a project that you're in love with versus one that's a little wonky because you made an accidental mistake. What happens to Sean happens to all of us. Like, I've been there. I had to rip some stuff out last week on my Campo. Like, it's fine. If you need pieces replaced, just let us know. That's an easy problem to fix every day. Yeah.
I found even when you rip this out, as long as you press it real quick, it goes back together just nice. But I just don't want to rip on this. I'll try the ball point being on a different piece of fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Okay, so Pam's on her way. She said, yeah, we need to have a meet and greet when I go back to Australia next year. We'll definitely get in touch and do that. Janet says she's off to the UK in August. That'll be fun for her. I think she has a daughter there, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun for her. Martha says she loves the Ferris wheel colorway. That one's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm interested to see how that one turns out.
Mm-hmm.
That was in my top 3. Actually, but
Yes.
I think I'm going to go do that patriotic one. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
So,
There's another one that is one of my sleeper favorites, and it looks like Ferris wheel. It's not steampunk, but it's more like blues and browns. It's very Southwest. Like
yes,
the quilt finished together has a lot of like southwesterny, deserty type vibes. I grew up in Arizona, so I was drawn to that. And we actually had a request on a Zoom to have a Southwest feel quilt, and I was like, done. And it looks awesome and it looks amazing.
that's great.
Mhm.
I just wish I had time to like sew 6 or 7 of them. And I can understand why people buy 2, 3, 4 of these.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's like a bag of chips. You just can't have one. Like you've
Yes.
got to have more than one. So,
Yep.
all right. So Pam's near southeast corner of Queensland, not far from you. So, okay, so you're not that far from where I used to live. Okay, so I think we might go ahead and finish up in just a moment. So you'll have to come back
Sure.
tomorrow morning to see the finished block since I messed that up, but that's okay. Like I think it's good to see that, the content creators are not perfect, that we make
Mhm.
mistakes, because I think sometimes you see the perfect things coming out, the professional quality, nothing ever goes wrong. And then as a
Mhm.
regular quilter, you go, why am I making these mistakes? It's because these
Yes.
folks are editing it out. I'm just like, you know
Mhm.
what? Jack is my best friend. He gets me out of trouble. I have to use it. I'm not embarrassed by it. So,
Well, and I think
uh,
that's what I love about quilting as well, is it's one of those crafts, like mistakes are expected. Like you are expected to make a mistake. It is okay. And it is your choice whether you leave it or change it, right? And that's, you have complete control over how you respond to that. And the people that are like perfect and everything's like an eighth of an inch, I love that. That is not me. But like that's a place. There's a place for folks that do both. So I love it.
absolutely. And I mean, like with the So Sweet one, the Benet I did, there's a couple of the little triangles somewhere that are turned around. They're not at the right angle. And I was like, okay, can I live with it? Is it worth the time to rip it out and redo it? Is anyone going to notice? Now, if Sheila looks at it, she's going to notice, yes, it's not right. But I don't think Sheila's come across and looked at my So Sweet yet. And if she does, I
Yeah.
don't think she's really going to care. I think she has better
Right.
things on her plate than worry about whether I got it.
Mhm.
And it still looks nice. So
Done is better than perfect. And I've been
exactly.
told if you can't notice it while galloping by on a horse, then it'll be fine.
Yeah, that's Stephen Bland. He's in the chat right now. He says the same thing all the time. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with that. So yeah, if it's not perfect, don't worry about it.
Mhm.
Like I entered a quilt into state fair a few years ago. The points were far from perfect. Like, and I still
Mhm.
won a ribbon.
Mhm.
There's so
Yeah,
much. It doesn't have to be. If it's perfect, great. If not, no one's ever gonna. And we're our own worst critics anyway.
true
So,
story. Yeah.
am I missing anything here? Okay. All right. So I think with that, we'll go ahead and say
So,
goodbye to
but
everybody. If
one
anyone
more
has,
thing for those that have made it to the end of your viewing, yes, because they've been with us the whole time. So two quick things. So a new thing that we're going to do for Carnival. So you get all of your fabric all at once, yes, and they're in little bags with numbers on them, and then we email you the clue each month, yes.
yes,
So we are going to do that for everyone that prepays and signs up in the first month of Carnival. So people will have the option to receive all their fabric just like you do, and then get emailed the clue each month so they can sew along with you just like you do.
I think it's a wonderful thing. I was actually going to say something to you about that. Like,
Yeah.
just send it all at once. Yeah, because it's so much easier. And I have to save you guys on postage as well, because you're not spending X amount each month. Usually
Mhm.
once you're over a few ounces, it's like, yes, I think that's wonderful because I know you've offered to do that for international folks for a while. So
Yes,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, so that we definitely do. So we're going to do that for Carnival. So you will have the option and the choice to receive all of your fabric at once. And then we'll email you the clues each month, just like you do, Sean, so they can
yeah.
participate just like you do. Now, mind you, we'll still have the month to month if you don't want to take it all at once. If you're worried about losing it, right, that's going to be a problem, right? If you get it all at once, you got to hold on to it all at once as well. And so, Sean, what I would love to do is offer one person on this giveaway, your choice. You pick someone randomly, whatever, and we'll send them a free Java.
Okay. All right.
Just send
Let's see.
Robin the information, randomly pick someone.
Okay, I might do a quick. Let me see if I can get a quick giveaway done real quick.
I know I kind of threw that at you. Like this is this is real, people. This is Sean real time responding to an external input that I just threw on the table for him. So this is
Let's go ahead and get my old night butt going.
this is a professional at work. I love it.
Yeah, no, we'll get this sorted out. I love that you are doing the all at the beginning. I think that's so much fun because we all sit around our mailboxes, anxiously wait for the clues each month. So the fact that you can get it done.
Now, mind you, the folks that not everyone can afford to prepay for it, right? I get it, right? We're all from different situations, different backgrounds. So we're still going to do the folks that need to go month to month, or like I said, if you want to prepay and still get it month to month, we are very happy to do that for you. But again, as we started the conversation, everyone's different, customization, personalization. And so we've heard this from a couple of folks and we figured we'd offer it this time. You don't have to do it, but if you would like to, that's definitely something we're going to offer.
Oh, hang on, let's see.
Do you need me to keep talking? I can talk. Oh.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. So as we look at Carnival launch, I'll just keep talking until you're ready, Sean. So as we look at Carnival launch, the week coming into signups, so I think that's in about a week and a half from now, we're going to do our daily minute mysteries again. My kids love these, the little riddle, like rode into town on a Friday, stayed 2 days and rode out on a Friday, what happened? And we'll give away tons of prizes because we like to kind of do awesome things as we go into signups. We're also going to be doing bingo again in our Cotton Cuts fabric group with all the different colorways for Carnival, including Carnival games. And then leading up to the shipment, we're going to do a whole bunch of midway games on our website just to kind of get people excited about the theme and what's going on. So that's kind of what we do, Sean. We like to have fun. We like to give stuff away. We like to keep people super happy. And yeah.
I think you just do a wonderful job. Okay, so I've never used a giveaway thing in the past. I think I can just roll it and let's see what happens here. This will be a test. So if you see your name pop up, I apologize.
We're learning.
Okay, let's see. All right, so let's just open this up for just like 2 minutes real quick. What I think you need to do is just put a comment into the chat, just anything. Because I'm seeing people's names pop up. So far, it looks like we have Brandy, Donna, Janet, Kathy, Katie, Martha, Mary, Pat, Pam, and Tracy. Are you going to limit this to US only, or is international going to be okay? Everyone. Okay,
everyone.
Perfect.
Everyone. So why don't we ask a question that everyone can answer, right?
Okay.
What's your favorite color? What's your favorite background color of fabric on a project? Does that work?
All right, let's do that.
Because you and I talked about that. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, so Christine, you're in. Cheryl, you're in. Janet, you're in. Brenda, you're in. Donna Dixon and Donna Armstrong. Leslie is now in. And okay, yeah, so it looks like if you are putting comments in, okay, so we've got gray, teal, pink, black, pale blue, light gray, green, navy, black, black or gray, cream, black. As you are putting your stuff in, your name is getting added to the list. So yeah, we're learning as we go along. So Yeah, and then the sign-ups for this is going to start on the 26th, I think it is. Is that right? Yeah, so
Yes,
not
it's
next
7
Friday.
a.m.
At what time?
At 7 a.m. Central Time.
Okay.
Get there. As many of our seasoned detectives know, some colorways sell out really fast. And I know that there's at least 2 that I can't get any more fabric on. So once they're sold out, they're done. So get there 7 a.m., set your alarms. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll do our best. We want everyone to participate. We always do our best. I hate telling people it's sold out and I can't get any more, but try to get there at 7 a.m. to give yourself the best chance of getting what you like.
Yeah, and then the other thing is too is like if you get there and your favorite sold out, there is like 14 other wonderful options out there. You should find something that you're going to enjoy as well. So
And I am being convinced to do a Tula Pink colorway. So there will probably be 16 by the time we get all said and done.
yeah, if you want the Tula Pink one, you need to be there at 6:59 because there's a lot of Tula Pink's fans out there. I've never actually made anything of hers, but yeah, it's going to be very, very popular. So
yes, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up with the giveaway. So everyone's in. So let's see. Kathleen, did you make it in? Yep. Okay, perfect. Brenda is in. Okay, so it looks like everybody that's commented up until this particular point is in for the chance to win a Java membership, which is 12 back quarters of boutiques, and they're always beautiful. It's a pencil and a small thing of that really good thread, whose name I can't remember.
The Aurifil. Yeah,
yes,
the Aurifil thread. Yes. And a pattern and like a fat quarter friendly pattern too.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very fabric centered. I've ordered the Java a few times myself. I've always enjoyed it. So if you like boutiques, this is going to be a great box for you. It's everything you want, which is fabric and nothing that you don't want. So it's a whole lot of fun. So, okay, I'm going to hit the roll it and we'll get this giveaway rolling and we'll see who is, and guess who won? It's our friend Janet Johnson from Western Australia.
Yay!
So, Janet, just get in touch with yourself or Robin, or how would you like?
Jan knows how to just Robin, Jessica, me, help. Just send it in and we'll get one out to you on Monday.
All right. So Janet, yeah, just let them know what you want. Just you know what to do. So that'll make it easy. So congratulations, Janet. I'm super excited that you won that. And now I know how to do giveaways. So it makes my job a whole lot easier because I know some folks you have to put like exclamation point giveaway or whatever it is. This just makes it easier. So that is excellent. So thank you so much for joining me today, Kim. It was an absolute blast. Just hour and minutes went by so quickly. Tell us a bit more about yourself and the company. I learned a lot. I'm going to have a lot of fun. Yes, Janet, just send one of the team an email. Just let them know that you won the Java box that from Kim. They'll get you all sorted out.
Yeah, and I'll send a note, Jan, as well. So we will get you all. We'll get something out to you on. We'll get the Java out to you on Monday.
Yeah, she'll take care of that for you. So that is excellent. So there we go. So thank you again. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. This is where I normally ask what you have in the channel, but we can probably skip that part because you don't have a YouTube channel, to my knowledge.
We put occasionally a video up, but we're not super. Yeah.
So there you go. But I'll be back tomorrow morning for my podcast as usual. Definitely head over to Cotton Cuts and see what the colorways is the colorways that they have available for you. So that way you can kind of get into it. And then if you are interested in their other products, the gnomes, the Java, the classic, and that sort of thing there, head over and just see what they have available as well. They have a lot of fun products out there for you. And if you have any questions, just let them know. And or I can help you out however I can, and we'll go from there. But thanks again for everybody. It was a lot of fun hanging out with everyone, and we will see you all in the next video. Have a great day and happy sewing.
Thank you, Sean.
And